we speak.
Oh, really?
I love it. We are.
All right.
We are going live, David.
All right.
It's happening as we speak. Good to see
Hello.
everybody. Let me see here. Hold on a minute. Let me.
Oh my. Maybe I can see it in my.
Can you see it in yours? Let me see here.
Maybe see. Okay. It should be in your Brian Murphy, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I can see you. Yeah.
Is it coming up? There you go.
Yeah. It's like the look. Oh, I don't know. We're not gonna see it. Well, but we are there.
We are there. We are definitely there. So
Yeah.
the whole thing about this, David and Michelle,
Yeah.
and as people start to join, is I think that oh, here, hold on a second. Here comes Stephanie.
Stephanie!
Stephanie!
Yeah!
Here comes Emily. I don't know if you met Emily yet. She's gonna be coming in here too.
Oh my gosh, Stephanie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, David?
Very good.
Hello.
Emily. Hi.
Hi, Brian.
How's it
How you
going,
doing?
guys? So
Very
you can
good.
do your
Good.
formal introduction if you want, and then we can. I'd like to go ahead and start. And just there's, I think people are going to be asking questions, and I wanted to open it up to that and see what happens.
Yeah, okay.
And I just need to get myself set up for it here.
Let me be more official, not this the office background. All right, there you go.
Perfect. So let me.
Nice.
get my thing here.
Cool.
And then we'll see.
Very nice.
People, I think that what is important about this is that, it's an opportunity for people to hear about what we do for a living. There may be people who are dancers in this, and there's people who are non-dancers, and then there's going to be like all the above. And, I think it's important that we hear stories from where you guys are at. You guys are 4 of you guys from New York right now, and then Emily's down there in Miami, nice and hot. Did you get the air conditioning all set up? Is everything all set up for you there?
Yeah, the building turned it back on, so.
That's
Nice.
perfect. I love that. So I did open it in. So I think we should start. Let's do the introduction, and then let's go from there. Let's go with Michelle. You go first.
I'm Michelle, and this is my daughter, Lucy. And I dance
Hello,
for the
Lucy.
Metropolitan. Say hi, Lucy. I dance for the Metropolitan Opera, but I also do a lot of freelance in New York.
Love it. David.
And I've danced with, including dancing with Brian.
That's we have danced a lot together over the
Yeah,
years.
true.
Yes, it's been a lot of fun too. David, go ahead.
Well, I'm a choreographer, ballet teacher. I teach in Connecticut, in New York City, and Brooklyn, and travel here and there, New Zealand, Italy, and Mexico. And I just like to teach. I'm teaching and choreographing. Yeah, that's
You've
it.
been choreographing for a long time.
Yes, for a
And
long
you've done
time.
a lot
Well,
of-
Stephanie, Stephanie and I, we have worked together. Went in
Yes.
Dancing of Harlem, and then
Cool.
independent project. So that's
Yes.
Love that. That's great. I didn't know you guys do each other. That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Stephanie, what about you?
you see.
I know. It's a small world. I love that.
Very small world. It's good to see you again. Hi, my name is Stephanie. I dance with Dance Theater of Harlem, and I've been there for 10 seasons. And I also do a lot of freelancing. That's how I met David Fernandez. Well, I met David Fernandez in Dance Theater of Harlem, but then I freelanced with him. I freelanced, do a lot of Nutcrackers. That's how I met Brian. And I work with the Francesca Harper Project as well, and Art Dance in Seattle.
Nice.
Art dance. You were in
Yes.
art dance? Oh,
Yes.
yeah, now I remember. Yeah, I rember. Yeah,
I remember when you were art dance. I love that. So how long have you been doing art dance? How long have you been doing that?
I was there 3 years ago, and then again last summer, and I was supposed to be going back actually last month in March to just do part of their school production in La Bayadere, but actually the director of ARC Ballet or ARC Dance Seattle is now our ballet mistress at Dance Theater of Harlem. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh,
It's cool.
Yeah.
so it's a very small world.
Very
Yeah.
small world. Yes. Emily, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name's Emily. I've been a dancer with Miami City Ballet for 10 seasons now. And before that, I was in Colorado Ballet. And before that, I was in Festival Ballet Providence.
Nice. Excellent. So, I'm going to assume there are people out there who are watching this video that have never danced in their life, and they've never don't even know what a dancer goes through or a choreographer. So I'm going to reach out to each one of you guys and talk to me. Why are you a dancer? Michelle. why do you dance?
Why do I dance? I wasn't expecting this question. Because I love it. I don't know. I've done it my whole life. In my 30s, still dancing professionally. I have a daughter, I'm still dancing. I don't know.
It's an interesting question, isn't it? Why do we do what we do? What about you, Stephanie?
Well, I obviously loved performing when I was younger, when we just had our once a year recital, growing up in our dance studio. And when I got older, I started getting more scholarship opportunities, and I got an apprenticeship with Texas Ballet Theater from Ben Stevenson, and I accepted it. And of course, like being actually in a real ballet company where you get to perform often, you get to do multiple different story ballets and dress up and act, and that whole family that dance companies they become a whole separate family. I mean, I love all those aspects in addition to performing, so that's really kept me in it. And now, like, I've had a few injuries here and there where I've been out for a long time, up to a year. And and especially even during like COVID, it kind of feels like, those times when I was injured where you're like, oh, but I really just want to wake up and I want to do class and I want to, choreograph and dance and move. And you really realize that the older you get and the more you've done it your whole life, that it's really a part of you. And dance and me are like meshed together like a PB&J sandwich. It's not one or the other anymore.
It's interesting.
So,
Meshed
yeah.
together like a peanut butter jelly sandwich. Is that kind of interesting? How about you, Emily? I mean, you've been in Miami City Ballet for 10 years. I don't know how long you've been dancing. Why?
Well, actually, to go off what Stephanie was saying, the mesh together, you don't know your identity without ballet in there. Yes, always, I think, and even more so the longer you're in it. I do feel that I have been kind of trying to figure out what it is, exactly your question, like, why is it that I love it so much? What is it about doing that fulfills me? And my latest work on myself has been, there have to be other ways in which I can reach a fulfillment similar to that. So what is it? Why does it push me so much? And why do I love it so much? And what I've kind of realized, to like generalize it more, I guess, is I love the effect that it can have on audience members, to take them away into another world and have them forget about real life for a little bit, or inspire them, not because, oh my gosh, I'm so amazing, but even just to portray the story properly on stage. You can inspire anybody who's a non-dancer in the audience or a dancer. And so I think trying to get at people in that kind of a way, you can do that in almost anything in life. It doesn't have to be just a ballet. It can be a nice, polite gesture in the grocery store, etc. So yeah, I mean, but it's ingrained. And what am I without ballet? No idea.
Yes, it isn't it? And David, I'll get your answer in a second, but you like dancing with you, Michelle, having a partner that you can relate to on stage, that you can dance with, is something that's really important. We all have related to that, and that's something that I don't know if you can get that anywhere else like that. It's one of a kind type of feeling. And David, you work really with getting dancers in the door. Like, you work with dancers choreographing. What, as a choreographer, if you had this younger dancer and you're looking for a dancer, and what do you look for? Do you look for a technique?
Well, there is so many things, but let me just say just why I like to say why I love to dance. And it is something that I really make me alive a lot since I was like probably 12, 14. And then I started to discover that, there was this world of dancing, and then I got into it. And then I mean, when you look at that dancer, you just need to see how strong, how passionate they are of their career, because they travel countries, different countries. I came here and I didn't speak English, even now. But and then you just came with a few resources, $300, and then you just keep going. You get injured, and then you try to go back again, and then you keep yourself trying to, go into auditions, get caught, go back and get caught, get rejected, and then people go like, why you keep trying to do it? And then there is not a real reason why. It's because I also like it to dance with, going dress up, get a like Russian, do Spanish or whatever, and then you are with a lot of people exactly like you in a place.
True.
Everybody together turns the audience, and that's why we become such a family when we are dancing together in a company, because we all experience the same thing of like trying to make them feel good, and then you hear the applause, and then and even you get injured, whatever, you keep going. And I mean, right now I'm like, why? There is not a specific reason why I started to dance, but and now why I'm choreographing. And right now choreographing for me was like, okay, if I fail this way, maybe I can teach somebody to feel this way, and to choreograph, you make a piece, and then together we're gonna make, okay, everything starts with the music, and you're gonna be wearing these costumes, and then the curtain opens, and then you're dancing, and then people stop, and then watching. So at the end, it just comes for me that yes, we are trying to share something really nice. Hey,
Skylar Cambell, how you doing?
I am here. Better late than never. Hey,
Yeah.
So
guys.
glad you made
Good
it.
to
So
be
glad
here.
you made it.
Yeah.
Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, everyone. My name is Skylar Campbell. I'm currently living in Toronto, dancing with the National Ballet of Canada, and I also have my own dance collective called Skylar Campbell Dance Collective, SCDC. And yeah, we just formed in October, and unfortunately our show had to be canceled due to COVID. But yeah, we're still up and running and still pushing ahead for future engagements. And yeah, it's cool to be with all of you like-minded artists and sharing good ideas and thoughts in this time when we have a lot of time to think.
Yes.
So,
Well, Skylar, we were just talking about why we were dancing, and I think
Yeah.
that one of the reasons why this was inspired in the first place because of our conversation we had a couple days ago about collecting people together. I think it's
That's
really
right.
important that people see, not just they see it, they're seeing all of us right here together, and they're hearing us talk about what it's like to be a dancer, or what does it take to be a dancer. So
Right.
I mean, and Michelle, you've traveled a lot over the years. It takes a lot, doesn't it, to keep yourself in shape, to
I mean,
be on
I guess it's
time,
to keep going.
to keep going. I mean,
To keep going. And yeah, even like Stephanie said, with injuries, like if to make a dancer, you have to keep going. And I think after COVID, people are gonna keep going. Like
Yeah.
dancers, like everyone's still dancing in their living room or whatever. No one's giving up.
That's
it's funny you mentioned that keeping going, and I actually had, if I'm going to be completely honest here, which I feel like we all are, had a really tough week with that exact point, with dancing in like my living room, so to speak, because I was craving. I was at the threshold. Now this is like 5 weeks, and I got to the point where I almost like I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm tired of doing ballet bar in my living room. Like, I needed to be in that studio, and I hit that rock, and I had to pivot. I had to regroup and regain and like accept that this was going to be the new normal for the next couple of months. But but it was tough for me, like personally speaking. Like I hit a rock. I hit a wall.
Yeah, I imagine that. I retired dancing, and I'm just teaching right now, and I'm just thinking how difficult it is for the dancers that right now they are in the peak time, and then you're going to be able to just do bar and then a couple of balances, because then
Right.
you don't have the floor, you don't have anything.
Yeah,
And one of the things that I thought that it could be helpful, it was that just go for a little run, because you need motion. You see, you need motion.
yes,
Put your music and you just do don't chassé pas de bourrée, chassé pas de
Yeah.
bourrée run. Very light. I recommended that you do it very light.
Yeah.
And then people see me like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm just chassé pas de bourrée around, you know. But you see, this is one of the things that for me is important, that the dancers in the peak right now, the motion. If you be light with your run, don't go hard. Just not like trotting, so your knees are not that bad, and also you don't develop big, your lines.
Yeah.
Ranger.
Yeah.
But you need a motion, and I think a little run it could be helpful. And obviously, I run in New York City, and I run in the middle of the street, and then I run away from people. And it's like I'm like a Pac-Man, right? I enter a street, and then I see people, and then I run away, and then yeah, it's just like, and then I run, and then I run the other way, and I run from cars and from people, and but it needs to have the dancers right now. If you have a chance to go out and run, just do it, but lightly, because yes, you need that motion going, because up and down, side to side, the legs and everything, it is good, okay, it is good, but then the motion, yeah, that's actually what I love about dancing. It was a lot that suddenly you aren't doing the diagonal and you're just giving everything, and just a diagonal, right? And then I think that was one of the things that I've been recommending some of my students, that just do a little run at least, and but
I'll be honest though, it has been difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult.
I mean, and I actually think, and Michelle, if you want to get on this one, if you want, or somebody else, I think we should embrace the fact that it's been difficult. It doesn't mean we're not keep going, but it's okay to feel that it's been difficult.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel it. Do we agree on that, or do we have any thoughts on that? Yeah, go ahead.
I mean,
yes.
Well, it's in a state that the dancers, we are all the time, actually. That we are always in constant fight, and that's one of the things that makes it very special, the dancers, I believe.
Yes.
I mean, I'm afraid the difficulty is yet to come. Like being in New York, like just like who's coming to our theater next year? Like, so I dance at the Met. It seats 3,000 people.
Yeah.
What tourist is coming to New York to buy a ticket to sit with 2,999 people to watch a show? Like nobody. Like,
well,
so
I think that what they're gonna do is seat one people in another empty space, and
so you bring a date and they have to sit 6 feet from you.
Yeah, exactly. I think that is gonna be the one of the things. Like they're talking how they're gonna do the restaurants, is that they're gonna open just half of the restaurants, okay, and then they just have like that. So maybe they're gonna open the theater, and then they're just gonna have half of the audience coming in. I mean,
right, but that's easier said. I think the fan base, people are going to be scared to travel to New York. As like what family is coming to New York to watch Broadway shows and next year? Like, I don't know. Like, who's going to come see the Rockette Spectacular for Christmas? Like, New York is the hot spot. No one's coming.
Well, that's the next great marketing challenge for all of these organizations, is to kind of reinvent different ways on selling this back to the public and to make them feel safe.
Emily, I read a post that you had and how you talk about some of the things you've been going through the last couple of weeks.
Like the roller coaster.
Yes.
Yeah, it's felt a little like a roller coaster, because to be honest, I was like, what can I do at this time right now? Well, there are certain things about my technique or about the unevenness of my back or my hips or my leg or whatever that I would love to fix, and I never felt I had time to fix it. And now I can go back to basics and go from the beginning and fix everything, which is kind of in one sense a blessing, because I never would have been able to do that before, because I was always too worried about learning the next thing or doing the next guesting or going to this place and teaching and doing a little show, and you just kind of you do what you have to do, and you don't go back and get things to be a little more organic. And my right leg is like kind of out and weird, and my left leg's fine. So what's that all about? And now I'm going in and fixing that because I can't travel, because I can't use the space. So that is an up and a down. Like this week, I was having a hard week, like you were mentioning, Skylar. And I got lucky because Miami City Ballet cut us all pieces of Marley. And this was the week, and I think it was actually great timing that I could go and pick it up. And I actually put my point shoes on, which was like, I was dreading because I put them on once on my floor and I was like slippity sliding all over the place, even just in a releve. So to have the Marley and put my point shoes on and take a class by one of our ex-principal dancers was actually really cool. And so for me, the point shoes was my movement. I also did, with the money I'm not making, I did buy a bike online. And I've been biking like crazy because the movement and the wind. And sometimes I get on the street and I'm going this way and that way. Because
just to get some kind of a movement.
So I got a question from somebody here, and let's let me read it and then we can respond. Okay. So this particular person, she teaches at a small college at a strong dance department. She's in San Francisco. What do you think of the future of these new dancers?
Well, I think they can pirouette. I don't know.
That's it.
That is true.
Well, I have to tell you that I was teaching, I was doing some exercises, and then suddenly I'm like, wait a minute, if I'm choreographing a choral ballet, I'm going to have to do just a small choreography on the side, right?
Yeah.
So I'm basically just balance, and so you're gonna be really good on the core ballet. You're gonna be able to stay in the line together.
That is true. It's true.
Yeah. If you start to see, I have a 5x5 space, and all what I'm doing is right now choral ballet kind of a movement. Obviously, some they are fun, but you see, you can do it. You know.
Nice.
And yeah. They will be pirouetting a lot.
It's interesting because the way they're working in this space is actually, and we've talked about this, I think, with every one of you guys about it's almost good because they're very, very technical. You really get into the detail, right? That they don't in the studio, but if you think about it, you can really zone in on that fifth, and you can really say if that foot isn't really there, something you wouldn't be able to get to if you were in the studio, right?
Yeah.
Something to think about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, just one of the things that I was thinking, posture is something that is really, really important for a dancer. This is your time to get it. You gotta do it. You get your posture really good. You get your abdominals really good. Your posture, and as I said to my students, make it count. This is the bar. Make it count every single exercise because. The bar is gone. I mean, the center is going to be gone, but, your core, your center, make it really strong. So make it count.
So, part of also this type of conversation is to be real. We need to be real. Okay. And the reality is that, yes, we're working really hard, taking class, and we're doing this. How does it really feel? Honestly. Beyond just we're trying to make it, it's kind of good. How does it really feel right now? How do you feel, Skylar?
Yeah, well, I guess to like Emily, for example, she seems like you're doing well. You seem like inspired with the Zoom classes and like taking from your colleagues, and I definitely enjoy that too. I think right when it happened, my wife and I, we transitioned quickly. Like I bought Marley, I got a bar, like we set up the studio like within the first week. And now we're into week 5. And like I said, when I first joined, like in the beginning of this, I like was having a tough week and I hit a wall. So for me, I need to take it like every other day, do something completely different, because for me, it's like, we're not going to be on stage in my circumstance. I won't be on stage with any company until November or December, probably. That's
Yeah,
what
that's real.
that's what kind
That's
of
real.
like the trajectory is. Like that's the real talk. So if you think about trying to stay in shape now seems for me almost like pointless. I don't want to like be a downer about it, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to continue to do bar in my living room or continue to do a chasse pas de bourrée down the street to fill my soul somehow. But I really thrive on that peer-to-peer contact and like
Yes, of
being
course.
in the studio. Like there's something really special about being in a dance studio or a rehearsal studio of any facet, whether it's you're on Broadway or you're in opera or you're in any creative industry. You need that space to go and practice your craft. And I'm having a hard time separating the two right now. Like I crave being back in the studio. So I don't know, these are just my thoughts on the whole thing. And so my kind of new outlook and perspective is to continue to like move forward in different ways, whether that is doing a run or doing you know, trying to look at this like as if like, what if this was the end of, like, what if I was deciding to retire right now? Like, what else do I have in my toolkit to fuel my curiosity? And that's tough. Like, I'm struggling with that thought right now. Like, it's current. Like, I don't have an answer.
That's okay. You know, Stephanie, you know, that's, I mean, Skylar, that's just real. And I think that, let's be honest, it goes through our head. It goes through your mind because you just don't know when that time will come back. Stephanie,
For sure.
I mean, is this something that you thought about?
Yeah, definitely thought about it. And yeah, I'm trying to really not be so hard on myself about being, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, ballet class, all at the same time. I'm trying to really allow myself to rest and not be so disciplined and feel like that pressure. And so, you know, some days I wake up and I have a really great routine that starts really early. And then other days I sleep really, really late. And then I end up doing a ballet class maybe at 8 o'clock at night. Other days I take Horton from my friends at the Ailey school, you know, that I went to Ailey a long time ago, and they're teaching Horton classes. I'm trying to take, you know, yoga. I have a bicycle, so I've been biking around New York City a lot, which is really good because I felt like my cardio's really kind of suffered from just kind of being in the same.
I really need a bike. I mean, we have bikes, but it's a little cold right now. Like you're in New York?
Yeah. It's a little chilly still. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have that problem.
You're set.
Probably not.
But yeah, it's really just trying to not be so hard on yourself and being open to trying these new things. And I'm trying not to be on social media all day long, which is really hard when you're also trying to promote classes and file for grants and things like that. And you get all stuck in everyone's social media life. But yeah, I'm just trying to maintain a good balance and not totally freak out if one day I just do nothing, and you know, and that's okay. If I just read a book and watch a movie, and because this isn't going to be as quick as we all hoped it would. And it is daunting when you think about like, well, November is quite a long ways away. And even if we get back to the studio in September, like that's still a little while. And you want to be able to just also take this time for not even like what you would do without dance, but what are you going to do with all this time? Like, what's something new that you can learn? We have all this beautiful time that most dancers don't have. Dancers are like the ultimate hustlers. So yeah, it's a question that doesn't always have an answer every day.
It's Michelle, what about you? What about you? Have you been, have you thought about?
Well, I think the same, like I like to work for goals and, I have this show coming up, I'm doing a pas de deux, I have this performance, and it's nice to always work for that. And now, like, they haven't canceled our season yet, but I don't think we're going to be in the studio August 2nd rehearsing Aida. Like, that's not really a reality. So I don't know. Sorry, my husband's like looking at me.
Fine,
And
that's
my
fine.
daughter's here too.
You know, I
So
think that,
yeah, I don't know. Like I go like David said, I get out every day. I go to the Central Park and walk.
No.
But yeah, I feel like we're just floating in space, really. Like I had a dream. I was doing a pas de deux and like being like lifted and carried through the room, like a contemporary thing. And it was, I think I missed that feeling.
Yeah.
Like that's something you can't give yourself at home, you know?
it's true. It's actually kind of true. So I do want to finish this up here. I think that I just want to reiterate why we're together right now. It's important that it feels like we're all feeling the same things. We're in our own space. I think that's
It's so weird, right?
I mean, we're talking about the same thing.
Like we're all in a city of millions of people and yet we're all alone. Like is anybody actually alone? Like Stephanie, do you have a boyfriend or?
I have a boyfriend and I have a roommate and I have my roommate's dog. So I'm pretty good.
Okay. So you're like, I wonder what it's like to be like truly alone. And I have a lot of friends in that position right now, just alone in their apartment.
Emily.
Emily?
I mean, I have my two crazy dogs who apparently for this conversation decided to open up every squeaky toy we have. And I do go and I kind of co-teach with my friend Natalia, but I mean, I live alone in my apartment. So it's weird. It's weird. And I mean, there are super downer days. Like Stephanie was mentioning, you can't put too much pressure. I mean, last Tuesday was my Sunday. I was like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. And then because also like my Sunday was filled, I had a bike ride, I taught a ballet class, and you know, Tuesday came around and I was like,
nothing.
Well, at the beginning, this is my fifth, I don't know how many weeks, but at the beginning it was so hard because it was that I was sleeping all day, and then the days became blended in, and you don't know when it started. And luckily, the schools that I'm starting to teach, they started to say, no, we're going to start teaching. And that was a big help for me because I was able to have, these are my classes on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I started to get a sense of what is my time. And then I'm like, here comes the weekend. Yeah. So that was really good, trying to keep this. And I believe it was really good to do. I'm looking forward to teach every day because I see the kids, and my students, and they need also the schedule, right? And not only that, I mean, it's really good that we still get paid because we are teaching these classes. And so it's kind of it was a good project keeping going, it makes me feel creative, and productive in such a sort of way. And be in contact with the kids, my students and everything, and keep creating the sense of community we have on the schools. That, as you say, Skylar, you miss your friends, and my kids. I have two kids that are in London, right? And then they do their Zoom talks. They are 11 and 9, and they have their time to go and they Zoom with their friends because obviously we recognize right away that it was a school for them. It is the time to see their friends and they grow together and stuff like that. So I understand, Skylar, when you say, you need to be there. And for me, I mean, I live in New York, but I work in Westport, Connecticut. It takes me 2 hours to go there in the trains and 2 hours back. So in those 4 hours is where I do all my editing and my cell phone and everything and like that. And I miss those commutes because that's where I do like that. No, I mean, it's really funny, all the things that I could miss. But, I was telling Brian last time we talked, I know we're going to come out super stronger on the other side. And I believe that each one of us, we are learning something new that we didn't know that we had. And then when we're going to come the other side, and we're going to be very good. I promise you.
I think that's, I think we all can agree on that. Yes, we feel things. Believe me, we all have our days, right? It feels like the wall just closes on you in your brain and you just can't get out of it. But there are a lot of days where I feel inspired. this type of thing right here.
Yeah, that's just a great.
Right here.
And I have to say thank you, Brian, for doing this.
Right?
Thank you,
know,
Brian. This is awesome.
No, seriously, right? This is the kind of thing in which it inspires me. And, you know, the fact that you guys made a decision to come on here should feel kind of inspiring. It feels like we're part of something. There was somebody who wrote something here, and I meant maybe the last question, okay? It's wonderful to do different things and cross-train, and I fully support that. But as someone who is aspiring to be in a ballet company, I feel this is time to do strength training and cross-training, specifically with Pilates and gyrotonics. What advice would you give to someone who is want to be in a company and there may or may not be a possibility for that?
Well, any dancer kind of is in the same position, no matter what. It just matters that you just need to keep trying, and you train yourself the best you can, and then you're gonna have to go out there and try. But you always do need to try to train yourself the best you can, and you know, give it your best, give yourself a good shot to whatever, because you can be. I know a lot of dancers who have all these possibilities to do it, and then they could never get into a company. And then you have another dancer who came and was at the right time, boom, and you are in. So it is just. You just have to believe in yourself and just keep trying, train yourself the best you can. And then, you know, if you're going to be rejected, and then you're going to go and you have to go again. And, you know, as I say, I'm an avid collector of rejection letters, you know, collect them.
I've seen those.
I have
They're on your wall.
They're on my wall. And now, because, you know, if you don't get rejected in this business, you're not doing something wrong. We are, that's why one of the qualities of the dancers you will acquire is resiliency. That it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to keep going. And, you know, if you have that in your side, in your life, I think you are good. You're going to be good.
Go ahead.
And even when you're in a company, you need the resiliency as well. It doesn't just end once you get your job, you sit back and whatever. I mean, it's like a constant, you've got to bounce back from everything, from injuries, from something that a bad show, a bad conversation with someone who's in charge. Like it could be anything, and a choreographer, anything.
You know, I would say
ahead,
it's a good time to try different genres, because there's so many professional dancers right now doing. You know, you can try ballroom, you can try hip hop, you can try more contemporary. So I think just doing Pilates and gyrotonics would not be the correct path if you want to join a company, because today, if you're in a company, you have to be able to do it all. And if you just do ballet, you will never succeed. You have to do everything.
Yeah, I think it's a good balance. I think it's important to have those things. And I also think it's important to not always seek the approval of the person in the front of the room, because that is where you can go into the vicious spiral. So to keep that in mind as a young dancer, it would behoove you to do that.
It would be huge.
Yes. You know, Skylar, that's something as young dancers it doesn't register.
Of course. And how could it? Because we're just not mentally there yet. But if you hear, you know, all of us kind of really across the board agree with that as professionals, I'm sure it's something we can instill in all of our students. And
I think
do it. It just comes to the end that we do it because we love this thing. Come on.
We do. And, you know, I think that, you know, we're talking from a professional background, and we know what it takes to get past the bad show. We pass it. We keep passing through these alleyways because we somehow know how to do that. There are people out there who want to be professionals but can't, and doesn't mean they can't go out and still dance. Doesn't mean they can't go out and learn new movement. You know, they can't go and do that. So I think that dance, there's room for everybody. There's a reality also. It takes a lot. It just a lot. I mean, you become that's why this scenario, and I asked honestly about how you're feeling, but believe me, I could probably say this for everybody, we're still strong as heck. We're still on our feet and we're still doing it, even though emotionally we might be like kind of whatever it is, we're still steady.
Brian, nobody's as strong as you.
Steady.
Have you seen that video of that guy who talks about ballet dancers? It is a really funny video.
Yes, I know
and
which
it
video you're
talks
talking
about-
about. It's
Oh, yes,
amazing.
yes.
What are you talking about?
I cried.
Oh,
I cried when I saw that video.
he
I was
knows
like, I
everything.
can't.
Tell me this video.
I was
Tell me
crying.
this video. What is this video? What are you talking about?
We got to show
he
it to him. We have to
critiques
send it to him.
everybody.
Yeah, someone needs
I
to
will
share.
send
Someone
it
needs
to
to
you.
share it right now in the comments because
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he goes like, well, there are humans and there are dancers, and then the rest of it is
And then
really
the rest
funny.
of us are down here. Yeah.
Gods,
Oh my gosh, it's
dancers,
amazing.
and the rest. Yeah,
But
like.
but whatever this guy is doing, I think the point is we to get through to be a dancer of professional caliber for a long time, you have to be strong. You just have to be here strong. You have to be strong. Right, Michelle? You just have to be, right? Look at all the
Gotta be
dances
strong.
that we've done, all the tours you've done, Stephanie, Michelle, the traveling.
Oh, yeah, like the Nutcracker. Brian wanted to do every big lift possible in our Nutcracker paw within like 10 seconds.
And we did
And we
it.
did it.
That's right. What the heck? I said, the more you do, the better. The more.
Yeah.
Just keep going. That's
Like,
my philosophy.
Usually there's
Just
2 big lifts. Like
keep
we
going.
legit did 6 big lifts.
I mean, just keep going. I mean, let's be honest. The more you dance, the better you get.
Right.
Right? Seriously, right?
Yeah.
Did you find it, Emily?
I found it.
Are you going to share it?
I'm going to share it. I'm going to send it to you in Messenger.
That's perfect. And then this is a good way to finish. This is a good way to finish all of this. Then,
All
right?
right,
We'll,
I've
we'll
sent
finish
it
with
to you.
this. You guys, this really was. I'm gonna. Let me see here. Let me make sure I know what I'm doing. All right, I'm gonna share this. Hold on a second. I don't know what I'm sharing. I just want to make sure
It's
everybody
worth
knows that. Okay.
it. We would never set you up.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. I'm gonna
Share
do
the
this.
screen.
Oh, that's him. That's him.
I don't know how to make it bigger. Hold on a second. I don't know how to make it bigger.
Okay. There's a little picture.
What is he saying? Well, my-
Well, you see it. You'll see it when.
okay. What do I? I'll watch it bigger. I can't get it.
And then yeah. But it's
All right, guys.
really good.
You know what? I think that this is a good way to finish. This type of stuff inspires me. Thank you very much for being part of this. When
Thank you
people
for
watch
having us.
this,
Thanks
I
for
Thank you
having
for
us.
having us.
Yeah,
Yes.
I just think people are going to watch this and they're going to feel like, you know what, I'm inspired now. You know, and maybe they'll create their own Zoom with their own people getting together and their own like
Yeah.
whatever it is, because this is the stuff that keeps us going. Let's be honest.
Okay,
right?
and if you
We should
anyone
reconvene.
Yes, guys.
I
anyone
like this group.
needs.
I like this.
I like
group.
this
Let's
group.
reconvene. Let's reconvene next month
I think we
and
should
see where we're
reconvene.
at.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's reconvene in about a couple of weeks. I would love that actually. So don't, I mean, if you say that, you know you're gonna get a message from me soon.
All right.
You know that. All right, guys. Peace out, guys. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you, Brian.
everybody.
Awesome.
Meet you
Hi,
guys.
Steph.
It's good to see everyone.
Peace out, guys.
Bye
Stay
bye.
safe. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.